Hey, my name is Brent. This is my 93 four-windowed schoolie. It's a Chevy 350 gas powered. Oh my goodness, I'm not looking forward to that. We're heading across Canada. So we'll be heading to Newfoundland here in the next day or two. Come on in. I replaced all these to touch tone. So they all came on at once, which really lit everything all up in here. So I replaced them with those touch ones. So now I can individualize what light I want in here. So basically, this is my kitchen. Comes with dirty pots and pans. But basically, I've hooked it up to an electric water pump. Yeah, it's noisy, but it works. So I just use one of those water pick things. And yeah, when I want to boil water, I have my stove stuck up underneath here. My stove goes in place where the computer is. I already spent the last year and a half in a Sprinter van that had no headroom, and I figured out I'm a bare bone basics kind of guy. As long as I have running water and a pee bottle to pee in, I'm happy, right? So I do enjoy having running water, so I do have 2 5-gallon fresh waters in the back. My water does drain into a you can see in there, there's a it's a small holding tank on-off switch down there to actually open up the valve so it will drain out into the water. So when I'm out in less conspicuous places, we can drain and look, be conscious of our lands and whatever, right? Drawers that open, simple lock. I think it's called a container. Pots and pans, coffee cups. My loving older sister has been a seamstress for a while, not as a job, but as a hobby. So I was getting a hold of her, and I said, I need some curtains because I need to spruce this baby up. And we went to Costco and bought curtains that they're blackout curtains. So they were actually the bookful ones that you buy with the big round hoops in it, these ones. And we cut up all the material because it was cheaper to actually buy them in a package than actually to go buy it from like Fanny's Fabric. She cut them all up and made them all for me, and we measured them, and yeah, they're great. They're total blackouts. Plus, I didn't tint my windows. I actually vinyled them. So outside, vinyl goes on the outside of a window where tint goes on the inside of a window. So the vinyl windows are actually covered with a see-through tint that they put on rear tail lights and signal lights that the hot rodders use. So I bought a roll of that, and what I've done right now in my lounge area, I have a little coffee table here. So underneath this coffee table, I have my shore power, my battery charging unit, and I also have a 400 watt inverter underneath here. I just ran it up and literally made it look like home. So this turns it on. Can't hear it because there's nothing charging it, but you can hear me shut it off. I got a really good deal on batteries. There's a guy that goes up and he pulls the batteries out of repeater stations, which are cellular repeater stations, and they're big, thin AGMs, gel batteries, 180 watt, 180 amp hours. I got 2 of those sitting underneath my bed, and I'm running the Renogy package deal where you got 2 100 watt solar panels. I usually spend 2 to 3 months of the year driving around in Volkswagen vans and hipping out. And that's when I started following you, was when you did your Volkswagen. You borrowed it from that Volkswagen. Remember how many years ago was that? You were just a kid back then. But anyways, I've had 13 of them, so every summer I spent 2 or 3 months in them. So I have a taste for van life. I just didn't go full time until like 2 and a half ago, 2 years ago, yeah. So I'm loving it, man. It's like, I hate sitting still. Yeah, so this place is heated by a Dickinson boat heater. It's a propane. I think I have a 50 or 60 liter tank underneath the van, which is hooked up to this. So it might come in handy later when I want to add anything else that's propane. But yeah, this thing heats it up. Not as good as my diesel heater, but it's definitely a nice ambiance to have in here, like to sit around at night and have a fireplace going all the time. So I will be putting a diesel heater, but this is really nice. It's good looking. I just lost my dog a month and a half ago. Hence the van's named after him. It's called the Goldberg Express because he's traveled everywhere with me for 12 years and I lost him. So he's got a wall of shame in here for a while anyways. Yeah, he was my rock. A bunch of storage under here, so we have a little bit of everything in here at the point in time, and still learning where I'm putting things. That's the whole thing, is because when you first get a place, it's really hard to, oh, I don't like it there. It's too hard to get to, and what do you need the most? And yeah, so I'm still learning this one, and more storage under here. So these are all my tools and stuff. I keep them handy. I intentionally blocked this off because I did want an L couch, because I do like entertaining. I like having people around, sit around, have a beer or two, have a nice place to sit. I'd rather have that than have your kitchen table. So I did this. This opens, but it doesn't. But I opened it up and I've sectioned off just this area for my cooler. And then underneath in the garage is a horseshoe storage container. So we're going to play with that in the future because I need to be able to pull this free fridge out. This is a 12-volt compressorized. It is a refrigerator cooler. Like, it looks like a cooler, but it actually has a compressor in it. They're the best. Like, I had one before and it was smaller. When I sold it, I gave it away with my Sprinter. Like, another guy from YouTube actually had this and he says, here, I got one, you can have it. So it was a bonus. It's hooked up straight into my fuse box. Yeah, it's running good. We're at 3 degrees, so that's good. Quite a high density 6-inch foam mattress on it. It's 4 feet wide, so it's not the exact size of a bed. So it's a queen size, less about 4 inches. So a friend of mine owns an upholstery shop, so I went down and borrowed his foam cutter and we cut her down to size. I'm about a foot short of a length, like the queen size, so I built a little headboard inside there to store some more stuff in. Still looking for more storage ideas that I'll be building when I'm on the road. So, but right now it's ready to roll, so I'm pretty happy with it, and it's comfortable. Oh my god. And the best part is, if I need a nap during the daytime, another blackout curtain. So I've actually used this once already and like slept all day because I didn't know what time it was. Just like, oh, I'll just go back to sleep. So yeah, it works really, really good. Even though that people say drill holes in it, you get more air circulation, you won't get mold. It's a crock. I got mold, so I doubled down and went for the other one. Now I'm not sure if I got it the right way or not, but it seems to be working. This is my TV. So you stick your phone in there, right? And then you do this, and all of a sudden I got a big screen TV. Thank you, Amazon. I have the Dometic electric fan that doesn't like working much. This will work. Nope, it doesn't work. I don't know if it's a fuse or a wire. I know one of the wires popped off once. I know this fuse went once. It's hokey pokey, but it is good because it does help for air circulation. And we'll have to get that fixed for the summertime coming up. Carrying this thing around way too long. This is the ladder for that. That's the ladder there. I was given this by a friend of mine before I left Nanaimo. This is my new scooter. He says, if you can get it to work, you can have it. You should take it for a spin for us. So I played with it and played with it and played with it. And I finally got it to work. Woohoo! So the reason I got that, as you can see, it's handicapped because I have no more knees left. I've had rheumatoid arthritis for over 30 years. So I have no shoulder and both my knees are shot. I'm supposed to have a knee replacement sometime soon, but since I'm leaving the province, they took me off the list. So that's okay. I think that because I can only walk for 1 to 3 kilometers, so I really have to pace myself when I go for a walk, because when it starts to hurt, I have to turn around, come back, and depending on how I feel that day. I think this is going to open up a lot of exploration and video footage. I'd be able to go down some of these pathways and go down and see things. Plus, they're allowed in stores, so I can take it shopping, put a basket on it. It's going to come in handy. I just got to get humble enough to like ride it around. But I think that's first of all, that's the biggest ride I've had. My water's over here, and it's very simple, right? It's just, there's 2 5-gallon jugs in there. You literally just poke a hose in there and it sucks it out. And that's the inside of that of the cooler, so that's where my cooler is, so it wraps around. I have a diesel heater back there, and also behind all those boxes is all my wiring, so it's raised up, all the wiring's underneath the box, and the fuse box is accessible behind the box. It's just a little bit hard to get to, but design flaws that we learn along the way. I'm recently retired. I've probably been retired for the last 2 years, 3 years. I did try moving from Vancouver Island out to Alberta to be with my kids. After I sold my house I lived in for 20 years, I sat on my back patio one day and thought, what the heck am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? And this overwhelming feeling came across me. It was like van life. And I was like, what? And I'd been watching van life videos on YouTube for, like I told you earlier, like since you were a kid. And yeah, I was like, well, I'll see what happens. So I did buy a Sprinter, drove out to Alberta with all my goods, put them in storage, looked for property, and ended up building out a Sprinter and moving into it 1.5 years ago. So, yeah, I love it. I spent the last 20 years in Volkswagen vans. I've owned 13 of them, and every summer I'd spend at least 2 months in it, traveling all over BC and Alberta, doing all the jamborees and stuff like that. So it wasn't anything new to me. Full-time is definitely an experience, and well worth it, because I don't wake up in the same spots. I get to move and I get to see new things, and yeah, I love it. My last one was all stealthed out, it had no windows, it had the roof rack, and I could park anywhere, and I'm like, I started parking anywhere anyways. I didn't care anymore, because you get over that fear of being knocked on or looked down upon or anything like that. And it's like, once you become full-time, it's like you come in and people are like, wow, you live here? And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. Right? So I don't know, it's something you have to adapt yourself to, right? Benefits, I lose weight because I'm not sitting around on the couch all day watching TV and feeling bored, so I got to eat something, right? 2, I don't have to pay rent, right? So I own my own home, but I still had to pay rent and hydro and all these things, and it was cost me quite a bit of money every month. Now I have that money to throw in the gas tank, which I'm going to need a lot more with this one. The last one was a diesel, but last year when I went across Canada, I did brewery tours, right? I found that when I went to a town, I would look up a brewery. Not only was I supporting the locals, but they also pointed me in the right directions of where I should go, right? So I had a whole wall of stickers in my old van, right? And all it was breweries. It was just amazing. So I get to think stupid this like this. I think we're called weirdos, right? Because we just think weird, I think. And I think it is. There's a whole society like us that is amazing, because I spent 20 years in the Volkswagen community, and I thought we were weird, right? But now I see van people that live in their vans full time. It's like, it takes a special breed of people. Not anybody can just go and do this, right? So I guess I'm a weirdo. I think the biggest challenge would be weather, right? And in saying that, the weather was a challenge because I brought this over in December before Christmas from Chilliwack and needed to build it out. And we had the worst winter here on Vancouver Island. And we had so much snow, we actually got stuck inside of a compound. We couldn't move for like 3 days, trying to dig this thing out to get into it to actually work on it. And I don't have a shop, so everything was done outside. So that was the biggest struggles. That's all I can really think of. I'm not a materialistic guy, and I've actually been downsizing probably for the last, I don't know, 6-8 years. Just like, I don't want this anymore. I used to have collections of with Polaroid cameras, right? I probably had every year of a Polaroid, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing with this stuff? It's not going to be worth anything for till way after I'm dead, and my kids won't want it. So, you know, so I started going through. I had telephones, all the old rotary telephones, and old cell phones. I had weird stuff. See, I'm a weirdo. But I started just realizing that it's just stuff, and all of a sudden, like, I had a house full of stuff, and then I had to get a shed full of stuff, and then I had a girl move in with me, so I had to build another shed to, you know, hold her stuff, and stuff is just material crap, right? And in here I have, you know, some beautiful things to remind me of my, you know, my memories. My memories are what I want the most. Hopefully I don't lose those. Yeah, one of the biggest things I learned by being in a van by myself is that I'm okay with Brent, right? And I remember for years I was always chasing that something that I thought that I needed, and it's like, nope, give me a dog and I'll be happy. There's that unconditional kind of love that you get from something else, and I can never find that with humans. So I really enjoy being alone and going out and seeing and visiting things. And I'm a very social person, don't get me wrong. Like, when I get out with people, I have a blast, but I like to run away and hide. And I think I've done that my whole life, but there's fear involved in it. But there's no more fear anymore. It's like, I love this lifestyle. Yeah. If you're thinking about getting into van life, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Go out and try it out, right? Like, go out and spend a month, right? And just be able to park on the side of the street. It's tough. It really is. Like, to jump into it. Mine was an easy transition because I had some previous practice, but no, it's different, right? Because I don't know, I see so many people just sitting in one spot in their vans, and I understand it's where your house is, but are you working or what are you doing? Like, I know I travel because I don't want to be in one spot. I don't want to be seen in one spot over and over again. So I'm constantly on the move. But yeah. Don't throw all your eggs in one basket. Try it out. It's a lot of fun, but I think you have to be molded for it. I really do. I don't think it's something that anybody can do. My personal philosophy on life: live life to its fullest. If you're standing on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Honestly, get out and start living before you start dying. And like, literally, this is why I jumped into van life. I have major things going on with me, with my lungs, my intestines, my joints. Like, just before I left, I was told that I'm going to be getting a phone call from a heart specialist because I have something wrong with my heart now. And I'm not quite 60 yet. I'm 58 years old. I retired 2 years ago because of my medical issues. And I wasn't going to let me sit there and deteriorate and let them try to figure out what's wrong with me. And I started living life. I'm like, screw this. If I can sit at home in pain, I can sit in a bus in pain, and I can go see things. I'm going to start living life, because we spend our whole lives working to retire, and then we go to retire and we don't do anything. So I said, screw it. Sold my house for a small amount of change, peeled out a van, and took off. And I've been living life ever since. So philosophy on life: start living. If you want to follow me, I'm at Brent's Van Life on YouTube. Pretty simple. Keep it simple. I had a van. I bought a bus. I was thinking about changing the name. People said, Brent, it's still got a van nose on it, so you're still a van. So I'm just keeping the name. Brent's Van Life on YouTube.
If you would like to be featured on different media, there's a form you can fill out to be on the podcast or to have your van toured. And if you're interested in watching more alternative dwelling tours like this, we upload every single Sunday. So hit subscribe, and new Van Life and Chill podcasts every Thursday. Thanks everyone for watching.